Hello everyone, and it's Sunday. It is 7 o'clock and it is time for Wilson Waffling Live. Hello everyone, and welcome to Wilson Waffling Live. Do you know, last week, how are you all first? How are you? Are you all doing well? Are you all tuned in and listening? I'm actually trying to do something a little bit different today. Am I in the middle of this shot? When I was looking at this shot beforehand, I couldn't decide whether or not I was actually in the middle or too far away or too close or whatever. So hopefully I've got it right. I'm actually trying to do three things at the same time tonight. I'm trying to stream to Twitch, not to Twitch, to Ustream, which is what I normally do. And I'm also trying to record it in MP4 format so I can upload it later on to YouTube. But the other thing I found is that this Wirecast that I use has an automatic YouTube button. So what I'm also trying to do is see whether or not I can actually stream it to YouTube directly. And I'm not too sure whether or not it's working or whatever. I really don't know. So I've just pressed the button. And I'm seeing what is happening. So no doubt I'll find out. Somebody will tweet me or tell me. So yes, so welcome to Wilson Waffling Live. Last week we had a bit of a disaster. Because when I actually streamed, if you remember, there was a bit of a rumble at the beginning, and when I say rumble, I mean the titles sort of like lagged a bit, and consequently, when I looked back on the MP4 recording of the show, it was actually 3 seconds or 3 to 4 seconds behind my voice. So my voice was moving and then the sound would come in. It was really good quality sound, but it was about 3 to 4 seconds behind. So hopefully, fingers crossed, this will be okay. And if not, what I have to do is actually upload it in 720 instead of 1080. So last week, if you're thinking, oh, this isn't a very good recording of the show, that is why. Now, I'm just going to move Wirecast over to my other screen to get it out of the way, and I will suddenly brighten up. Because I've got my screen straight in front of me, and I'm just tweeting now that I'm live at Come and Have a Chat. There we go. Tweet. All done and dusted. And we're away. Now, remember that there's numerous ways that you can actually get in touch with me on the show if you'd like. If you go along to the website and go to the link that I just tweeted out, then you will find you can find the link to the live show, and there's a chat button there. And you can actually log into the chat, and the chat will appear on my screen over there, and I'll be able to see what you're chatting and then bring you into the show. Of course, if you're a Facebook sort of person, then you can just go to Wilson Waffling, or Wilson Waffle, I think it is, my Facebook page, and by all means message me on that. Or if you wish, you can tweet me. And this is my Twitter here, and you can give me a tweet, and I will have a look at that. And Twitter is open as we go along, and I can see what's happening there and interact with you if you are around. Now, of course, many of you might actually be watching this on YouTube, because it's recorded and uploaded to YouTube the next day. And if you're doing that, then please do not, you still send me a message on Twitter or on YouTube in the comments, but remember, it's pre-recorded. It's a bit like those X Factor shows. You know, those X Factor type shows that say, please do not, if you are watching this on demand, please do not vote. It's a bit like that, because I won't be around to actually comment or respond to you. So welcome to the show, and as always in today's show we've got a range a range of segments for you, including pretty soon we're going to go into the tweets of the week to see what I've been looking at on Twitter. We've got the website roundup. We've got a rather special opinion minion this week, and we've got the answer to last week's Draw Something as well as a new one, and somebody actually participated and got it correct, which I was really pleased about. We've got a sort of Minecraft montage halfway through or near the end, and then finally we've got the infamous Ask Waffling Wilson segment, when you can ask me a question and that comes straight through to my phone and I will check and have a look at that. So without any further ado, if I can find the right button, let's go straight into the tweets of the week. And yes, I still haven't got tweets of the week. I need to do that. I need to sort of like do a tweets of the week. Yeah, so this is the tweets of the week. So what I'm doing here is that I'm just going to share with you some of the tweets that have come to my attention throughout the week, and I'm going to share them with you and to let you know what I see on my Twitter feed. So, before we go any further, I must apologise if I sound a bit croaky or a bit rough. It's just I'm getting over sort of like a freshers flu sort of thing. So yesterday I was really, really bad with it. Today I'm not. I'm surviving. So if I look a bit rosy, that's why. Because I'm a bit sort of like hot and bunged up. So let's go straight into the tweets of the week. And the first thing I couldn't let go by, because of course this week was the now famous, the nice, totally famous Great British Bake Off. And this was one of my favourite tweets, and it sort of like lacks something. I must say it sort of like lacks something at the moment, because this is one of my favourite tweets, which was from Team Nadia. And what it was actually Narnia actually running, running and walking at the same time. And what I'm trying to do at the moment, and I'll see whether or not I can find it. I was actually trying to find it actually on the actual website, so you could probably see it. So you might be able to see it if I bring it over. Ooh, don't know whether or not I can show this. No, I don't think I can, because what I should have done is download it. But it's a wonderful tweet, and what happens is that you actually see Nadia sort of like running and half walking as well as she sort of like runs around, and I think it was fantastic. And like everybody else, we were really impressed with her speech at the end. I didn't actually watch Great British Bake Off. I think I saw one episode of it when they were making towers with eclairs, it seemed, and that was it. I haven't seen any more, but I was actually engaging with the learning and teaching in higher education chat on the Wednesday night, and the tweets for that were coming up at the same time. So that's I thought I should do a Great British Bake Off actual tweet for you, but so that was it. That was the one that I really enjoyed. The other one that I really liked throughout the week was the ex-president of YSJ, tweeted something that I thought really sums up what friends are all about. And being a bit of a techie, this sort of like rang true to me. So this was Laura Jackson at Laura CJ, and you can see it at the top. This was Laura Jackson's tweet that I thought was fantastic. You'll know you're good friends when you automatically connect to their Wi-Fi. I thought that was brilliant, Laura. That really does. And you know, it's amazing how many people's houses I go to and I automatically connect to the Wi-Fi, and it's just sort of like fantastic. And I think, you know, in the past we've been there and I've nicked their or asked for their password, and I think that sort of like really sort of like summed up in this age of technology one of the aspects of what a true friend really is, you know. And I think that was brilliant. And this week, as well as fantastic tweets like that, my timeline on Twitter has been bombarded with students carrying out activities at university. And what's really good, if you're interested in coming to YSJ, then if you follow the hashtag YSJ Prime Ed, so it's PRIMED, then you'll be able to see everything that the students are actually doing as they tweet it, and then I retweet it or favorite them as well. And there's been some fantastic sort of like artwork and DT work and English work and mathematics. Well, mathematics hasn't started yet, but science being tweeted throughout the week. And last week the whole second years go on something called SOTS, which is a setting other than school, and they started last week, some of them, and they're all there this week for the whole week. And one thing that they one area that they sort of like look at is the way education works outside the classroom, and they do activities. And one of the things that they went to a place near York called Benningborough Hall, and appeared on my Twitter line. They're obviously doing some kind of artwork with clay, and it was fantastic because they actually decided to do a picture of me. So here we are. Here's their attempt, which I thought was absolutely fantastic. We made you at Benningborough Hall today. And there I am, complete with my square glasses, rather pumped up lips, I must say. I'm not too sure about the lips. And yes, I think my ears do stick out that far, but luckily you can't see them at the present moment in time because they're under my headphones. But I was really chuffed. I thought, yeah, my nose is rather big as well. The more I look at it, the more I'm getting worried. But it's really nice that they decided to recreate me. I'm not too sure what's happening with that bit of hair or bit of head that's fallen off at one side, but I thought it was excellent that they actually made me, and it added to all the other pictures that were filling my my timeline throughout the week. One of the other things that I got really excited about is something that somebody that I follow on Twitter that is actually in primary school. They're actually a teacher, and at the beginning of term, especially on Facebook, all the NQTs that I had trained at YSJ were out there sending me or posting pictures of their new class and their new displays and everything like that. And it's really nice to see that as a tutor from university, seeing that they're going out into the big wide world and they're sort of like actually having a look. And I'm going to have a look at this again on the website roundup later on. But this is the tweet that started it off from Chris Waterworth, and this idea of the first interactive view of the classroom. And we're going to have a look at that later on and actually see it in real life or see it big screen on the website roundup. I think I've got one last tweet to share with you today. And this really did make me laugh. When this actually came up, it was retweeted by several people, but when it actually came up, I must admit I had a serious giggle to myself. It was actually retweeted onto my timeline by Simon Lancaster, but the original tweet was by Andy Gables here on Twitter, and you can see it now. Here it comes. This is it. This is a metro.us/truth facts. Statistics show that teen pregnancy dropped drastically after the age of 20. Now, it does take a moment. Just take a moment to have a think about that. Lo and behold, at 19, it's really high. Teen pregnancy. And then suddenly, at 20, it drops to 0. It just disappears. It just goes. It's just like, I wonder why. I wonder why that happens. Do you know, I'm just a bit worried at the moment. I'm just going to go back to my screen. I think I think we might have a bit of a problem somewhere, because I normally have my Ustream stream open on my other computer over there, and I just noticed that it's just stopped. It just looks like it's just buffering and nothing else. So I'm just going to reboot that to see whether or not it catches up. Otherwise, it just says initializing. It might have caught up. It might just have been a delay. I don't know whether or not it's because I'm streaming to YouTube at the same time. And I have no idea. What's happening on YouTube at all. It'd be really interesting to go back and have a look at it at some point. So, any more tweets of the week? No, there's no more tweets of the week. So, that's the end of tweets of the week. Hopefully this will work. It didn't work. I suddenly noticed that I had no graphic equalizer going. I was busy dancing and I forgot to click my microphone back up, which is never good on a live show. Talking about live show, I've got some really exciting news for you. Really exciting news, because one of my major dreams might actually be coming true, and I love this live show. I really enjoy doing it, and I like the feeling that people are watching me live and that other people watch the YouTube video, and as always I'm really grateful for that. The same as when I'm actually streaming games on Twitch. It's really nice that people come along and join in and sort of like participate. But I've always wanted to have my own radio show, and fingers crossed that this will come off now, because after almost like 2 years trying to work at it to get it, I've actually got to the point that I think, fingers crossed, on Tuesday night from 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock I will be having my own slot on Radio YSJ. Yeah, I'll probably be having my own slot. Now, in case you want to tune in, and it'd be, I think this is live now, but with YouTube I normally put it up on Tuesday morning. So I'm going to try to get it up on Monday night, so people will have it for Tuesday morning. And this is the actual URL. And if you go along to there on Tuesday, then you can go along anytime you want, because Radio YSJ tends to broadcast between about 7 o'clock and 9 o'clock most nights, and it's a very small radio station at the moment, but it's growing, and I'm sort of like, I work really closely with a really good committee, a really good society that is very dedicated to it, and they've kindly let me have an hour show. So tomorrow, not tomorrow, I'm so excited about it, I keep thinking it's tomorrow. On Tuesday, between 8 o'clock and 9 o'clock, that is when the Wilson Waffling, or the Waffling Wilson radio show will be, a Wilson Waffling radio show, I forget what I've called it, will be going live. So by all means, nip along to this URL, and just so you know, this is what it looks like. This is what it looks like when you actually get there. So here it is. It actually looks like this. So as you can see, it's currently off air. But what will happen on that evening, then you can actually tune in from 7 o'clock. And there's a show on before me, and then I come on at 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock. So if you are interested, and I would be very grateful if on Tuesday you can come along if you wish to listen to me here. And you might be thinking, oh no, we've had enough of you, Ian, we don't want to listen anymore. But please, if you are interested, then that is the URL to go to. And tune in and listen to my show. And I hope you enjoy it. So that's my sort of like big piece of news. My other really massive piece of news is that somebody actually guessed the draw something competition this week, I actually had an entry. Now, as you know, we have a bit of a kerfuffle now because we have to get everything sort of like set up. And for some unknown reason, every time I try to do this, every time I actually try to do this beforehand, it doesn't work. So I'm trying desperately to get everything up and running now, but it doesn't seem to want to work, which is a bit of a pain. And if it doesn't work, I'll just be holding up my iPad like this to you. Come on. Come on. Let's just quit this. And let's see if we can get it up. Talk among yourselves for a while. Here we go. Right. Ah, here we go. We're in action, guys. We've got it. We've got it. Have I got it on the screen? Yes. Here we go. Ta-da! Here we are. So, this is... let's just go straight in. Oh, wow, look. We haven't saw that. That one was ages ago. Look at all the ones we've had so far. Now, this was last week's. And this was a musical that we had. And yes, I know I still haven't got the music for Draw Something yet. I'm not very good. I've got something planned, but I can't get it to work really well. So we will be there for... But this was last week's. And... somebody actually got it correct. Somebody messaged in and actually got it correct. And I was so pleased. Thank you so much. So much. And the person who got it was somebody from Facebook who's also a teacher who got called Alex, and he correctly guessed that the musical was Les Miserables. Les Miserables. The Miserables. That's what I went for. Do you see that? That's what I actually went for, the Miserables. So that, well done, Alex. Well done, Alex. You did well there. So let's now go on to today's. Because let me just see what it is. Oh, right. Okay then. So this one came up. And I actually thought of not actually doing it because it was so hard. So if you sort of like think, we've had some easy ones. We had Spider-Man, remember? We've had this one was one that was Spider-Man, and we had the good, the bad, and the ugly, and this was the one that nobody got at all, which was the word shrink. So but this time what we're going to do, this is another film. And it's going to be it's a hard one. So bear with me. This is probably only for those people who can understand my weird drawings. So here we go. So I'm going to start off by drawing. This is going to be like stick figures. So please bear with me. And like there. And then we're going to have, so these are stick figures, and this is completely non-gender specific, okay, because I'm really keen about non-gender specific. And the word that you're looking for is like two words, and that's the first word, those two there. Okay, and then this is going to look quite horrific, but bear with me because this is the second word. How can I draw this? Right, let's do it like this. Bear with me. I'm not very good at this. Let's do a darker colour in the middle. Oh, that's not a darker colour, that's exactly the same colour. Oh, let's do a lighter colour in the middle then. And that's normally on sort of like grass or something like that. Oh, you're never going to get this. Never ever going to get this. So it's a film. It's a film. And this over here, these, let me just change colour. So where that red is there, let's just bring back the red. These two are the first part of the word, and then this is the second part of the word. So have a go. I'll make it full screen for you so you can see it in its all its, what am I trying to say? In all its glory. There you go. I got that. Got there in the end. So, good grief. What's it going to be like on the radio show on Tuesday? I dread to think. At least I'm going to have a techie with me. So, hopefully I'm not going to do silly things like leave the microphone off or get all the levels wrong or anything like that. So, here's the full screen. Here's the full screen. And here's the two sort of like pictures of the film, and there you go. It's a film, and you need to try to guess what that is. Remember, you can contact me in any of the chosen ways. You can send me a message on Facebook, you can tweet me, you can send me an email, anything you want. You can even shout it from the highest steeple if that would help. But if you can guess what that draw something is, then don't forget to let me know by next week's show. Do you want to know? I've lost everything now, because I don't know if there's a Minecraft player called OMG Chad Johnson, and he's just gone live on Periscope. So that's it. My views have gone. My views have gone. Everybody will be watching Chad Johnson. So that was a draw something. So let's do the inter-segment break, and then let's see what's going to happen next. Inter-segment break. And we're back. Yes, I think I got the sound and everything there. So that's the draw something segment done, so I can get rid of that now, and we can move promptly on. To what should we do next? I think we're going to do the website roundup. Website roundup. Oh, sorry, I've just suddenly had a drink of water there. That is not actually long enough. Not actually long enough. I need a longer piece of music. So this is the website roundup. So what have I got to show you today? So let's start off by going back to the thing that I was saying earlier, the interactive panoramic view. So here we go. Here it is. So this is what it actually produced. Can you see as I move around? How good is this? How brilliant is that? And I think you can actually look up and down on it as well. I'm not going to. I'm just going to whirl it around. Anglo-Saxon. And I thought, what a fantastic way to show off your classrooms. So all you NQTs out there, this is what you need to get. And it's actually an app. This is the app. It's called 360 Panorama. And you can get it from the Apple Store, which is just there above my head. Or you can get it from BlackBerry World. And I presume that is like an Android setting. I'm not too sure. There is an iOS video there that you can see.
Some views weren't meant to fit in a photo. That's why I'm so glad I found 360 Panorama.
Me
too. You just tap the button to start, then spin in a circle, and watch as your panorama is built, right before your eyes. They say it's the powerful computer vision technology that makes it so easy. All I know is my panoramas turn out amazing. Panoramas are stored on my device, so I can view them later. Better yet, I can share them without even leaving the app, because Facebook, Twitter, and email are built right in. Speaking of email, No one loves seeing what I'm up to more than my mom.
Bless
I can
her.
either send her a flat image or a fully interactive 360 view. Of course, I always go with the 360 view. She says the spinning feature is the next best thing to being there.
Bless her, look at her.
With support for multiple sharing accounts, I can update all my social networks at once. And when I want to make a big impression, I always mention the gyroscope button for a totally immersive experience. I love how I can share
Oh, look.
everything with 360 panorama.
Isn't that cool? Isn't that cool? So, definitely worth checking that out, I think. Definitely worth checking that out and using it. And I think there's lots of options that you could do. And one of the things that I really like is that, I don't know if you notice, let me just go back to the picture. So this is the picture again, and as you can see up here, I don't know if you can see it, but there's sort of like 4 buttons, and I'm on the middle one at the moment. If I press the one to the right, you go right to the Outlook, so you can look really out. This is from the floor looking up, and then the one on the right is actually looking down. I think that's fantastic. Look at that. I think it really gives a really good bird's eye view, and I'm just scrolling in now with my mouse wheel. So I think that's brilliant. And don't you think that's a lovely thing to put on VLEs and things like that to share with parents, so they can see what their classroom's like? Especially I worked in a lot of army schools, and I think that'd be fantastic to sort of like send out to people, soldiers who are on what do you call it? I was going to say mission on deployment, so they can actually see their child's classroom. I thought that would be brilliant. So next time, NQTs, current third years, make sure you go along and get that app, and then 360 panorama, and then you can send me your pictures like that, and we can actually interact with it. Which I think will be fantastic. This I don't really like the flat view, so I'm not going to show you that. So the other thing that I just wanted to show you, and it's nothing sort of like mega important, but I really do like tech. And I don't know if you know, there's a computer program, well, a computer game that I play on the Xbox really badly called Destiny. And I saw this the other day that was on the actual internet, and it was this. And to me, that just looks unbelievable. I just sort of like looked at it and thought, wow, look at all that tech. Look at all that tech. And I just think that I just love something like that. That is what... That's what you have to think that I'm actually looking at now. Okay, this is sort of like my setup. It's not really, but it's almost like my setup. But I can imagine we have a radio studio at Radio YSJ that hopefully we're going to get into to start broadcasting. At the moment, the society broadcasts with a laptop and a mixer, but hopefully we can get into the studio and start broadcasting from there. And then that's what I think it'll be looking like if I keep my show, and fingers crossed I get to keep my show and carry on broadcasting for the whole year. That'd be fantastic. Doing a radio show. And this, can you imagine? I might be famous. I might actually be famous. Can you imagine it? So that's what it looks like without me on it. So fantastic. So yeah, so that was part of the website roundup. That was Destiny. Now, the other thing that I've got, and have you heard of the Myers-Briggs test? Okay, now the Myers-Briggs test, if you don't know, it's almost like one of these tests that you take. You know when you're looking at teenage magazines or something like that when I was a lot younger, or you look at quizzes in Cosmopolitan and things like that. And it's not that I buy Cosmopolitan or anything like that, but you sort of like you see it a lot on Facebook, sort of like, which Hogwarts character are you? Or which superhero are you? And you just sort of like look at them. Right. The Myers-Briggs test is supposedly a psychology test that puts you into various categories, and it's run by a company that actually about 2 million people take this test per year, and the company that produces and markets the test makes around $20 million every year off it. $20 million off it. And a lot of the people that you find will say to you, oh, I'm this or I'm that. I'm a ISTJ type or something like that. And it sort of like separates you up into introverts or extroverts and sensing and intuition and things like that. Anyway, I as you might know, and I don't know if you know this or not, but I hate labels. I really do hate labels. And one of the things I hate about labels is that I think there's not enough labels. And that really and truly, each one of us is our own self. And I don't think you can group people together. I think once you start doing that, you almost like expect us to link to a norm. And sometimes I even think that if you hear that you're a certain type of person, you actually stay at that norm and actually almost like develop into that norm. And I hate that. I don't like it at all. I hate the word normal. I detest that as well. But anyway, this test has been used over and over again. And I found this article, and it was by somebody called Joseph Stromberg, and it states the test is completely meaningless. And I sort of like think a lot of people, let me just, oh sorry, I've still got Wilson waffling across my face. It just says, where is it? Let me find it. Can you see it? Here we go, just above my head there. It actually says, the only problem, the test is completely meaningless. And it actually says here, there is no evidence behind it. Adam Grant, an organizational psychologist at the University of Pennsylvania. So not sort of like just somebody off the street. You know, it's like very academics. Okay, and it was saying down here. Let me just find it. That's one of the psychologists. I can't find it, but it actually says that some people actually change their categories. They actually change their sort of. This is sort of like the different types you can be, but it actually says that some people actually change their types within 5 weeks of taking the test, and they actually shift from one area to another area. And it's just sort of like, here we go. The problem with that idea is that research has shown as many as 50% of people arrive at different results the second time they take the test, even if it's just 5 weeks later. I was like, wow. Sorry, do you know, I'm really bad today. I've just done all that segment with Wilson waffling. You couldn't even see me. I'm so pleased I've got a tech with me tomorrow. So I changed it on one screen, but I forgot to send it across. So I do apologise for that. Please come back. I will get better. I've been saying it for 53 episodes. 54 episodes. I will get better. I promise. By number 50, 100, I'll be fantastic. Oh, I need a producer. I need a producer who just produces everything for me. That'd be nice. So I'm sorry if you're out there and you really like this test, then that's absolutely fine. You stick with it. But if you're one of those people who have never believed it, then now is the time. There you go. And I'll put that link in the show notes below so you can see it. So, anything else? Oh, do you know, I might have to do a sneeze in a second. I do apologise, but don't worry. If I do, I'll shut the camera off. I won't get it all over the place, so don't worry. So that was the end of the website roundup. Here's the interlude. I think I clicked back onto the microphone too quickly there. I'm losing it, guys. I'm losing it. I need your sympathy. I need your sympathy now. So, what have we got left? Oh, we've got the opinion minion. Let's go straight into it. Let's go into the opinion minion, guys. Here goes. Opinion minion. I got a bit of echo in my headphones there. Yeah, so it's opinion minion time. And today I'm going to do something that I haven't done in a long time. But I wanted to give my opinion about something. And normally I pick something completely different. But this week I wanted to talk about the waffle that I did. And my waffle I did this week was something that I really thought very hard about before I actually published it. And I've published it, and hopefully people have taken it in the right sort of like way, because what I was publishing today was this idea of how technology supports anti-bullying. That's what I wanted to talk about. And I put up here, and I just want you all to sort of like be aware of this. You know, that I'm not an expert in anti-bullying, but one thing that so I want to apologise that if there's any inaccuracies or anything like this throughout this thing, then I apologise for it. And throughout this time, I am not trivialising bullying at all. And so if you think I am, I'm not. I apologise. So I just wanted to, and I'm going to click off there because I just want to talk to you and me here. You know, and you can read this. I'm going to sort of almost like work my way through the waffle. So by all means, go back and read it again and have a look and have a listen. But I just wanted to talk to you about it because it's something that I'm quite passionate about. And it's something that I feel I can talk about. And there are many things in this world that I will not pass judgment on. And one of the reasons I won't pass judgment on it is that I can't possibly understand or experience the emotion connected to those situations. But as you can imagine, I'm quite a unique person. I'm very geeky, I'm very OCD, I'm sort of like very diverse, I'm sort of like very different from other people. And this almost like makes me, or has always made me, sort of like a prime target for things like bullying and things like that. So, and I'm one of these people who have come out of it the other end, and I wanted to sort of like not talk about bullying today, but talking about anti-bullying and put the positive side of it through. And cyberbullying is very rife at the moment. There's a lot of it, and technology is almost like getting the bad press for it. And the first thing I need to say to you, and this is something that I really strongly believe in, bullying is a behaviour. I think bullying is a behaviour. I think bullying is something that people do when they're almost like not happy with themselves, or to make themselves happier, they sort of like take it out on somebody else, and they look for people who do not fit the norm. You probably see why I don't like that word. And they sort of like, you know, they either physically or emotionally abuse that person and sort of like bullying them to some disastrous and devastating end points. And that is awful, and I hate it. I really do hate it. But technology is a tool that they use. That's what it is. It's not the cause of it. The cause is the behaviour. And yes, bullying has made it easier in some circumstances, but at the same time, it's also supporting anti-bullying. And what I wanted to talk about was sort of like three major points of this. And the first thing that I remember, I did like a PHSCE course at school when I was a primary school teacher. And one of the things they talked about was actually encouraging children to talk to you if they were being bullied, and being very open to them and very accepting of what they had to say. And, you know, making that face-to-face contact is very difficult. And, because you never know whether or not the person you're going to talk to is going to ridicule you or just dismiss it all, or say things like, don't be stupid, or get over it, or, move on from that. And it's a very worrying and very nervous thing to do. And so a lot of the times you just avoid it. Children and people who have been bullied just think no. Now, I think technology has stepped in there, and what it has allowed you to do, and for victims, which how I call them to do, is to actually contact people away from that face-to-face, and almost like anonymously contact them and start that to initiate that conversation. And that first bit of a conversation is the hardest part. That's the hardest part to do. And, you only need to look at Childline that, presented that first bit of technology, that first bit of technology that children could then actually talk to somebody else without that face-to-face contact, but know that they're talking to somebody who they could trust, and who was listening. And you only need to look at the number of calls that went through to Childline. That is a testimony to how good that worked. And now with things like emails and instant messaging, then that initial point of contact to say something is not right here, something is not right, something is wrong, is really important. And I think technology supports that. The other thing that I wanted to say is that technology is a great supporter. When you're being bullied, it's very isolating. And it's sort of like things close down and you think it's only happening to you and nothing's happening around you. And it's very emotionally straining. And sometimes it's very difficult to sort of like understand that there is support out there. And I think events and websites like Anti-Bullying Week and things like that really sort of like bring this to the front, and places that, people who are being bullied can go to and get information and join in discussions, and then go back to my previous point of getting that help. And the final thing that I think technology is doing and is providing hope. And I think too often we're sort of like trapped in a moment. And when you try to, one of the things I really think is that if you're in a moment and you try to predict the future, then predicting the future, you predict the future in relation to the emotion that you're in, the emotional state that you're in. So if you're very happy about something, you predict a future, you look to the future that is also very happy. If you're very worried about something, then you sort of like reenact the future, and you see that as a really worried or anxious time. And I think the important thing is that if you're in a situation that is very stressful, or you're being bullied, then you need this this almost like this sense of hope that it's somehow going to get better. And you only need to look at things on YouTube when people speak very openly about what they went through, but also how they progressed through it and came out the other end of it, and also what they're doing now, and showing what they can do and what you can achieve, and how looking back. And a lot of television shows demonstrate this, and sort of like really sort of like show that yes, you need to talk to somebody, you need to change the situation, you're not to blame for it, but at the same time there is hope. And I think technology through YouTube and live shows like this one, or podcasts, is providing that. I think I think we're almost like battling bullying all the time, because we're to get rid of it, to try to eradicate it completely, is to try to eradicate an aspect of human behavior. And I think that's almost like impossible to do. And what we have to do is try to alter it some way, or change the emphasis some way. And I think technology, as well as being something that can be seen as very negative about the bullying or anti-bullying, we can see it very positively as well. And it is something that we can use as together with the fight to go against bullies and to promote anti-bullying, and hopefully in the end sort of like reduce the occurrences of bullying, and also the impact it has on victims. And that's my opinion. No! Wait, I've made a mess. I've made a mess of everything. Wait, I'm coming back. Oh, sorry, my microphone. So, if you would like to look at that full blog post, then please go along to wilsonwaffling.co.uk and you can read it in its entirety. So we're going to quickly move on to something else, and I've made a complete mess of this already, and we're going to go across to have a quick look at something for the Minecraft montage. And I think I got it right that time. I think I got it right. Now, one thing I would just like to say about the Minecraft montage is that if you are somebody who has been playing on my server, or you would like to play on my server, then by all means go across to wilsonwaffling.co.uk, and up at the top there's a link to my Minecraft page where you can join up. Things are going a bit slow at the moment because work has been really busy these last 2 weeks, so I haven't actually been able to do a lot of work on the servers, but I am currently trying desperately to get up there and sort of like get things sorted. And in order to demonstrate what I'm doing, I've actually posted up online a couple of videos. So this is one of the videos that I did, which is called the speed build for the bungee portals. So there's that one, and there's also another one up there from last week that is relating to the actual the skyblock start spawn area that I created. So both of this is up there. I'm currently trying to think of an idea for the starting area for the survival area, which is been built once, but I need to sort of adapt it, and I also need to link the portals together so you can actually use the bungee portals to get from server to server. So I'm working on that at the present moment in time, so hopefully that'll be progressing. So if you are interested in playing Minecraft, then by all means go along to the Minecraft my Minecraft page. You can find the links at the top of wilsonwaffling.co.uk. Nip along there, make an application, and then we'll get you onto the whitelisted server as soon as we possibly can, and you can start building and joining in the fun. Now we are coming to nearly the end of the show. We're coming nearly to the end of the show, and we've only got sort of like one more segment of the show before we stop, and the hour is nearly up, and that of course is the Ask Waffling Wilson segment. So without further ado, let's go straight across to Ask Waffling Wilson.
The number you have dialed has been changed. The new number is...
Ask Waffling Wilson.
Please note, the new number is...
Ask Waffling Wilson.
Hello?
Hello? Is anybody there? Yes, it's Ask Waffling Wilson time. So this is when you can nip along to either the website of wilsonwaffling.co.uk and press the Ask Me button up at the top, or you can go direct to this URL, and type in your question straight away. Now remember, it's anonymous, but if you would like to actually add your name, then if you add your name at the beginning, then I can see whose the question was set by and answer you directly. Now remember, you can go back and find out all the answers and all the questions that I've done already. They're all on the website up here. So what skill you would like to learn and why? If you had £5 left in your pocket, what would you spend it on? Where do you shop the most? Don't worry about your popularity of YouTube. I imagine the answer is no, but have you ever been to Scun Home? No, I certainly have not. When you were a qualified teacher, and it comes to how many weeks off do you actually get? If you could bring any building into the Minecraft server, what would it be and why? So loads of questions there. And these are a rather shocked picture of me there. What happens when you post these is that they come straight through to my phone. I want to get a new phone. I want to actually upgrade my phone to a 6S. But my biggest problem at the moment is that this fits nicely on my belt. And I'm thinking, if I get anything bigger, it's going to be like carrying an iPad around on my belt. And I don't think it's going to work, which is a bit of a worry. But we'll see. I'll keep you informed. So here we go. Let's go to the app. And, oh, there is a question. Here we go. Here's the question. Do you know, I might know who actually posted this question, but we'll see. I might be wrong. So here we go. If you would get a tattoo today, what would you get and where would you have it placed? Now, I don't like tattoos. I must admit, I'm not keen on tattoos. I think from what I've heard, I've been watching that, what's it called? When they cover up tattoos that people have got when they were younger, and some of them are awful. And the pain, I mean, some people seem to stand there or sit there and not flinch a bit and just sort of like talking away. Other people going, like this all the time. So I'm a bit worried about the pain. But if I could have a tattoo, I think number one, it would be quite small because of the pain. Number two, I would like a bit of colour. I wouldn't just want something that's quite black or white. I wouldn't like that. I think probably a bit of colour. Small. And I'll probably have it in a place that you can't readily see, if that makes sense. So I wouldn't want it on my arms or anything like that. Or maybe sort of like, you know, near the edge of my stomach or something like that. So you wouldn't normally see it, and something small. I'm trying desperately now to think what I would have. I mean, I could be really tough and say something like, you know, a jaguar or a panther sort of leaping out, but I don't think that would happen. Maybe I would just, I often have this, you know, some people actually have like symbols, so like Chinese symbols or something like that. And I always think that they always say, oh, this says so, you know, I am the one, or I am fantastic. And really and truly, I don't think they know what it says. It could say something like, get off on the second floor. Or it could be, you know, my sister is a cat, or something like that. Or I have a puppy dog, or something like that. So I don't think I would like anything that says anything. Maybe just a pattern. I tell you what I could have. I've just had a real good thought what I could have. I could have an optical illusion. What's that impossible triangle called? Let's see if I can just. If anybody's watching and they know the name of that impossible triangle, then please let me know. Here we are. Look, somebody's actually. Oh, wow! Somebody's actually got it. Somebody's actually got it already. That is absolutely unbelievable. Apparently, it's called the Penrose Triangle. And there's actually people with it already. And I think that's what I would have. So hang on, let's just zip across here so you can see it. Let's just move up. Let's just make sure that there's nothing else. I'm on a tattoo web page, so I'm just checking to make sure nothing else is. I think we're safe. So there it is. That's what I would have. That sort of like impossible triangle. I wouldn't have it there. That looks like it's in between two people's shoulders blades. I wouldn't have it there. I would have it something quite small and out the way, not on my arm. I have no idea where that. It says the geeky tattoos. Good grief! There we go. I mean, geeky. Isn't that interesting? Even when it comes down to something like a tattoo, I'm going to end up with a geeky tattoo. So yes, so that's the answer to that Ask Waffling Wilson question. I would have an impossible Penrose triangle. I've just found a whole load of other impossible objects. I think let me just check. Look, I could have this. I really like this one. This is like the pipe one. Have you seen this? Oh, sorry. Let me get rid of Wilson Waffling. And there you go. That's the pipe one, isn't it? So here, there's 3 pipes. But when you get to this end, there's only 2. You see, that one's further down. I really like that. There's some good ones here. I really like some of this one. Look, it's a Lego brick one. That is weird. Hang on, let me just disappear off that because it's spoiling the effect. Look at that. That Lego one is completely weird. Do you know, I think that's the best thing of the impossible triangle that I've seen. I really like that Lego brick one. I'm definitely going to save that for later. So that would have made a good a good website roundup page. Oh, look at it's the hour's gone, guys. The hour has gone. Wilson Waffling Live has been live for an hour and it's completely and utterly gone pie, and I have no idea where it's gone. So if you've been with us, thank you for the people in the chat who's been around. I noticed somebody popped into the chat right at the last minute. Whoever you are, thank you very much for coming into the chat. Hope you've enjoyed the show. Hope you, if you're watching this live on the website, even if you're not in the chat, then thank you very much for watching. And if you're watching it on YouTube, then please let me know how it went, because I have no idea what's been on there at all. I hope you've enjoyed tonight's show, and remember that if you have any questions that you would like me to answer, then by all means go along to this URL and you can actually post your questions there and I will answer them next week. Don't forget that Tuesday is a really big day for me. Tuesday is a really, really big day for me. Please pop along to, let me get it, not that, please pop along to myradiostream.com/radio YSJ. I'll put the link in the bottom. Pop along there and join my radio show 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock. And remember, if you'd like to, they have a thank you, anonymous person. Somebody just told me that the YouTube event has went fine. It's just a couple of seconds more delayed than this stream, which is fantastic. Thank you, that person, whoever you are, anonymous person. But that's really helpful. That's really sort of allowed me to see that it works well on there. And my computer, although it's broadcasting to 2 different places, is actually maintaining it better than it was last week. So that's good. So don't forget to come along and support my radio stream. It'd be lovely. And don't forget, you can always message the studio when we're busy going on, and I hope you enjoyed that. Anything else, don't forget that you can follow me on Twitter throughout the week, and don't forget that if you would like to have a guess at the Draw Something, the film that I did for Draw Something, then you can either post it on YouTube as a comment on YouTube down below, or message me on Twitter, or send me an email, or anything you want. It's completely up to you. Don't forget, one thing that I forgot to say to you all is that remember, you can actually join in the competition. There was a winner from last week's competition. A lady called Sarah won the competition, so she has won a I Waffled with Wilson badge, and she also won a £5 gift voucher for Amazon. I've actually emailed her but haven't heard anything from her, so hopefully she got it. If not, I hope she can get in touch with the show. Apart from that, thank you very much for watching. It's been a fantastic show. Well, I've enjoyed it. I hope you've enjoyed it just as well. And thank you very much for your continuing support. This was Wilson Waffling, episode 51 for and this is me finished. And let's just get some music. I can't find my music. Here we go, found it. This is me signing off. Have a great evening. I'll catch you next week.